May 16th, 1940, 11:47 a.m. The Gembloux Gap, Belgium. Captain Pierre Biot stands in the turret of his Char B-1 Beast heavy tank, number 337 UR, scanning the rolling farmland ahead. The spring wheat sways gently in the breeze. Behind him, the French 1st Armored Division struggles to deploy across muddy fields. Ahead, somewhere beyond the ridgeline, the entire German 16th Panzer Corps is racing westward. If they break through here, nothing stands between them and Paris. The fate of France balances on this narrow corridor of Belgian countryside, and Biot knows it. His crew of 4 sits in cramped silence inside the steel beast, waiting. The morning has been deceptively quiet, too quiet. Bilot's loader, Corporal Deveau, lights another cigarette with trembling hands, his third in 20 minutes. The radio crackles with garbled reports from reconnaissance units, contradictory orders, panic barely concealed beneath military protocol. Through his binoculars, Bilot watches a farmer's cart abandoned on the road, its horse still in the traces, head down, oblivious. Crows circle overhead. The air smells of diesel and freshly turned earth. His driver taps rhythmically on the control yoke, a nervous tick. The tank's engine idles with a low, predatory rumble. Somewhere to the north, artillery thumps distantly, a storm approaching. Bilot wipes sweat from his eyes despite the cool air. Every instinct screams that something is coming. He adjusts his headset and waits, jaw clenched, fingers drumming against the turret rim. Then he sees it. A glint of metal on the ridgeline 800 meters distant. Then another, and another. Dozens. The glints resolve into shapes, angular and predatory. Panzer IIIs and IVs advancing in a wedge formation, their commanders visible in open turrets, confident and fast. Behind them, more tanks, and behind those, half-tracks loaded with infantry. The entire horizon seems to darken with armor. Bilot's blood turns to ice. "Contact front!" he barks into the radio. "Multiple enemy armor! Advancing fast!" The German tanks accelerate, engines roaring across the fields. They haven't spotted him yet, still hull down behind the embankment. This is the moment. Bilot drops into the turret and slams the hatch shut. The world contracts to gun sights and the smell of oil and sweat. "Load armor-piercing," Bilot commands, his voice steady despite his racing heart. The 47mm gun traverses right, tracking the lead Panzer III. Behind him, Deveau slams around into the breach with practiced efficiency. "Loaded!" The German tank crests a small rise, exposing its flank. Bilot centers the crosshairs on the turret ring. "Fire!" The cannon roars, the recoil slamming through the tank's frame. Through the smoke, he sees the round punch through the German tank's side armor. Flame erupts from the hatches. Men scramble out, uniforms burning. No time to watch. "Traverse left!"
Second target.
A Panzer IV swings its turret toward them, searching for the shooter. Bilot fires first. The round tears through the German tank's front plate at this range. His 47mm is deadly accurate. The Panzer IV lurches to a halt, smoke pouring from its engine deck. "Keep moving!" Bilot shouts to his driver. The Char B-1 pivots on its tracks, presenting a narrow profile. German tanks are firing now, confused, trying to locate this invisible killer. Rounds shriek overhead, one clanging off the Char's thick frontal armor with a shower of sparks, but no penetration. The French tank's 60mm armor is impervious at this range. Bilot is untouchable, and he knows it. "Third target, 12 o'clock!" Another Panzer III explodes, its turret flying 10 meters into the air. 4 down. The German formation wavers, uncertainty spreading like a virus. Who is shooting them? Where is this monster? To Bilot's right, Lieutenant Moreau's tank engages from a different angle, catching 3 panzers in a crossfire. The Germans panic. Their radios scream contradictory orders. A A Panzer II tries to flank but drives directly into Bilot's sights. One shot. The light tank disintegrates, its thin armor no match for French firepower. 5, 6, 7 kills. Bilot's gunner, Sergeant Laurent, works with mechanical precision, each shot deliberate and lethal. The air inside the tank becomes suffocating, hot, acrid with gunpowder. DeVoe's hands bleed from loading the heavy shells, but he doesn't stop. Outside, the battlefield transforms into hell. Burning German tanks scatter across the fields, black smoke towering into the sky. Infantry dismount from half-tracks and dive for cover, pinned down by French machine gun fire. A German 88mm anti-tank gun unlimbers frantically, trying to acquire Bilot's position, but Moreau's tank destroys it with a direct hit before it can fire. The Blitzkrieg, unstoppable for 6 days, grinds to a confused, bloody halt. German commanders scream into radios demanding to know what's happening. Their intelligence said French armor was obsolete, slow, poorly coordinated. This doesn't match any briefing. Bilot's breathing comes in ragged gasps. His uniform is soaked with sweat. Through the vision slit, he counts 11 burning German tanks. 11! In less than 15 minutes. The enemy formation breaks, panzers reversing desperately, trying to escape this killing field. Some bog down in soft ground, becoming easy targets. Others flee westward, abandoning the assault. French infantry begins advancing, emboldened by the sudden reversal. Bilot fires twice more, methodically destroying tanks that hesitate too long. 13 confirmed kills. The German attack collapses entirely. For the first time since the invasion began, the Wehrmacht retreats. Bilot allows himself one breath of relief. Then another enemy formation appears on the horizon, regrouping. "Reload," he commands quietly. "This isn't over." When the firing finally stops, the silence feels unnatural. Bilot climbs from the turret, legs shaking, and surveys the carnage. The fields of Gembloux are littered with burning steel. Black smoke columns rise like funeral pyres. German wounded cry out in French and German. Medics move cautiously forward. Bilot counts the wrecks again. 13 enemy tanks destroyed by his crew alone. Countless others damaged or retreating. His own tank is scorched and dented, but operational. DeVoe vomits over the side, adrenaline finally releasing its grip. Laurent sits on the hull, staring at his hands. They saved the line. They stopped the Blitzkrieg, if only for today. French High Command would later count 43 German tanks destroyed at Gembloux that day, with minimal French losses. The Wehrmacht's advance stalled for critical hours, disrupting their timetable. Pierre Bilot survived the Battle of France and escaped to England, where he joined the Free French Forces. He would fight throughout the war, eventually rising to command an armored regiment in the liberation of Paris. But he never forgot those 15 minutes in May 1940, when one tank crew proved that courage and skill could stop an army. History remembers the Blitzkrieg as unstoppable. But for one afternoon in Belgium, a French captain showed otherwise. Subscribe to discover more untold stories of impossible stands and forgotten heroes who changed the course of history.